Welcome back, friends. So I wanted to shoot something a little different than scare the fire out of you about the coronavirus. And I'm saying that sarcastically because it is happening. It is going on. People are dying. People are getting sick. But I wanted to shoot something else today. I wanted to talk about something else. So, long time ago, I used to be in cars, sales and all that jazz. I used to work for a Toyota dealership. I worked for a Nissan dealership, Acura dealership. I worked for all kinds. And I learned a lot. And so I wanted to share some knowledge with you guys, okay? Because I have a detailing business. I hear all kinds of stories from clients, and they want me to help clean up their cars, and they told me their stories, what they went through and all that jazz. So let's talk a little bit about that. So let's say you have a car you want to take to a dealership, and you're looking at a new car, and the first thing a dealer is going to say to you, a sales rep, is going to say to you is, hello, my name is Tim, or whoever, Joe, whatever. Will you guys be trading something in? Are you guys looking to trade a car in? What they do is they pre-sell you. They want to reevaluate the circumstances with a trade or no trade. So I'm going to advise you this. Even if you do have a trade or you do want to trade, say no. Say you do not have a trade, you want to buy outright. So instantly the car salesman, the dealership knows, okay, they're going to buy this car outright. All right, so the reason being for that is because you want to get the very best deal you can get, the very best price that you can get for that vehicle. And so you're looking around, you find a car that you like, you drive the car, the salesman's going to go with you. Most cases they do, some cases they may not. Most of the case they will not is if you have a car load of people with you and they're all riding with you, then 9 out of 10 times they won't go with you. But if it's just you, they'll typically hop in the passenger seat or in the back. And when they're in the car, they're going to ask you a slew of questions. So what do you do for work? How long have you been there? They're pre-qualifying you for your credit. So they'll even ask some will go as far as ask you, do you know what your beacon score is or your credit score? My advice to play dumb across the board. I mean, yeah, sure, Tim, you work at so-and-so, you've been there for so-and-so, but don't talk about your beacon score. Don't talk about how long you've worked so hard to build your credit or your credit's not so good, or don't talk about that stuff. Just change the subject. So you get back to the dealership, you like the car, you really want to pursue this car. In the back of your mind, you know you have a car that you're thinking about trading in, but you're not revealing that information. Do not do that. So then what happens is you go into the salesman's office, you start talking about the car, you start talking about the price, and you're like, let's say hypothetically they want $30,000 for this vehicle, whatever it may be. And you're like, that's just too much. My suggestion is lowball the heck out of it. Coming out of the gates, they want $30,000. Say, I tell you what, I'm willing to do $22,000 on this car today. He's gonna say, this is crazy, this is ludicrous. Okay, fine, counter offer me. He's gonna say, well, maybe I might be able to do 28.5. No, dude, no, you're a mile apart. You're too far apart. There's no way you're gonna come. You don't see this deal coming together. So what you want to do is you want to get the very best price you can get this vehicle for, and I'll get right into the point here in a second. So he says, okay, so we can't do that. We can't go 21 or 22, whatever. Will you do? If I can get my manager to go 26, will you do 26? No. So he gets up and goes to the sales manager, his boss. Sometimes they'll just go around the corner and they'll pretend like they're somewhere else, or they're in a sales manager's office when they're really not. It's a game. It's all a mind game. That's all this whole thing is. And you have to understand, you might as well go ahead and plan the whole day being shot, because these guys have been trained to the hilt. I mean, they've been trained how to stall, to play with your mind. So he comes back in and says, nah, he doesn't think so, but maybe 28, and you're still too far apart. So you go through this back and forth, and finally you're worn out. You're tired, you're exhausted. So you're like, I tell you what I'll do. I'll do 23.5. He says, no, we're just too far apart. He says, let me go talk to my manager again. So this time he does go to his manager and says, I got a cat in here that wants his car. He's throwing lowball offers at us. He's throwing like 21, 22, 23.5 for this car. And we're marked at $30,000. And I think we can put him in it. The sales manager says, I'll tell you what. Tell him that I said, if you're wanting to buy, if you will buy today, if you'll buy today, right now, sign the papers. We'll throw you the keys. If you'll do 25.5, when you've already said, let's say 22, 23, 5, whatever, and he does 25,000, it's 5,000 off the daggone retail. So he comes back and says, I'll tell you what, guys, this is what my manager said. He said, if you'll buy today, if you'll buy the car right now today, sign the papers, we'll do it for 25. And then you say, nah, I just can't. I can't. I'll do 24.5. That's it. That's the top dollar. That's all I can do. Two things you can do at that point. He's going to say no, and you're going to say, well, thank you for your time. You can do this. You can say, thank you for your time. Nice to meet you. Thank you for talking to me, and start walking out. They're not going to let you leave that dealership. You're $500 apart. Let's say $1,000 apart. Doesn't matter. So they're going to, and I'd be willing to bet the sales manager himself will go walking out there stopping you. But let's say you don't choose that. Let's say you choose to sit there and say, no, but 24.5. Okay? You can say, let me think about it. Just let me think about it. So what you do is you just get up. Once again, before you chose the first option, if you didn't choose the first option, you say, no thanks, thanks anyway, I'm going to go somewhere else. And just leave. Don't stop, don't let somebody stop you, just leave. They'll call you back. Okay, so let's say they did agree. Let's say hypothetically they do agree at 24.5 for this vehicle. This is when you drop the bomb on them. This is when you drop the hammer on them. And this is where it gets really interesting. This is where it gets a little tricky. So he goes to the manager, elbows around, messes around, goes to the bathroom, whatever, comes back and says, okay, we're going to do 24.5, here's the paperwork. And you say, you know what? The more I think about it, I can't drive two cars at the same time. I think I will go ahead and trade my car in. This is when it gets a little tricky because the sales manager and the sales rep is going to say, whoa, we asked you in the beginning. We asked in the very beginning if you wanted to do that. Sorry about that. I have a business to run too. So the sales rep says, we asked you, you said no, you didn't. And said, yeah, no, I just got to thinking about it. There's no crime against that, is there? Is there a crime against me changing my mind? Well, now, hang on a minute. And so he's going to grab all these papers, he's going to go back to the sales manager and say, this guy told me he didn't want to trade a car in, and now he's saying he does want to trade a car in. What happens is you've messed up all their profit margin because they have still a profit on that car. And so what's going to happen now is they're going to take your vehicle, and what they do is they call up a wholesaler, another dealership, a small dealership that buys these cars at auctions or at some of these dealerships, and they detail them, put them on a car lot for resale. So they call up Joe Schmo down the road at some other buy here, pay here, or some of the lot, and he say, hey man, come up here and take a look at this car and tell me what you'll give me for this car. So let's say you got a 2003 Nissan Sentra. And Joe Schmo comes up and says, man, I'll give you $1,500 for it. So, okay, so instantly the dealer says, I'll give you $1,000 for it, and he's going to make $500 profit and sell it to Joe Schmo. So they come back into the office and say, you know what? How much you want for this car? And you say, well, the book of the car, it's worth $4,500. Oh, we can't do that. We just can't do that. We can do $3,000. If you agree to $3,000, will you sign today? Maybe, possibly. So he goes to the salesman and says, hey man, he says, they're saying $3,000 if we'll give them $3,000 for the car. Now keep in mind, they're selling that car for $1,500. They're only going to show $1,000 for that car. So what they have to do is so this is where it gets tricky. They have to come off the price of their brand new car to where they make no money, because you got them negotiated down to 24.5, what have you, And then you're wanting $3,000 for your car, your Nissan Sentra, and he's only going to wholesale for $1,500. So how can he give you $3,000 for this car when he's going to sell for $1,500? He can't do that. So what they do is they say, okay, sure, we'll do that. We'll give you $3,000 for it. As soon as they agree to that, say, you know what? Can I see the ACV? Huh? What? Can I see the ACV? What are you talking about? I'm showing you right here. I'm giving you $3,000 for your car. Yeah, but I'd like to see the ACV, which stands for actual cost of vehicle. That will piss them off real good. See, these people are trained daily, day in and day out, man. They take advantage of people. That's what they do. That's how they make a living. If you're good at what you're doing, though, you can get a good deal. Just follow some of these steps that I'm giving you right now. Save that last little speech or that little sentence about, can I see the ACV, please? Save that to the very last moment, especially if you're trading. If you're not trading in a car, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're not trading a car, it doesn't matter. You're buying it outright. But if you're trading in, you want to see the ACV, actual cost of vehicle. That means the sales manager is going to get involved. He's going to have to come into the office, sit down next to you, and explain exactly what they're doing because you're on to them. Because a dealer is there to make money. That's how they keep the doors open, to make money. And so you got to understand, the dealer has to make money, the owner of the dealership, and the sales manager has to make money, and the sales rep has to make a commission. So they're all making money. If they're not making money, the doors are closed up, they're out of business. So just remember that. If you're going to a dealership, don't reveal that you're going to trade a car in. Keep that to yourself. Get that price down as low as you can. The very best price. And once again, I'll reiterate, just take your whole day off of work. Or on the weekend, go ahead and plan your whole day down at the dealership because they're going to keep you there playing games all day long. Not to mention they're going to call you into the office, into the F&I man. The F&I man is called a financial manager. F&I, we call him F&I man. You go in there and they haul around, they push down warranties down your throat. Man, I mean, buku warranties. Warranty for this, warranty for that. Before you know it, you can almost buy another car for all the price you're paying for all these warranties. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Especially if you're buying a Toyota or a Lexus or a Honda. You don't need all that stuff. Unless it's a used car and it's going to have issues and it's got a lot of miles on it, then okay, whatever. But just keep that in mind. So when you're looking at a new car, be mindful of what you're saying to the sales rep. Do not mention about a car that you're trading in if you are trading a car in. In my humble opinion, friends, don't trade a car in. Sell it outright. Put it online. Market space or marketplace on Facebook or Craigslist, wherever, Auto Trader, wherever you want to, newspaper, and sell it outright and then go buy the car. You always lose when you trade a car in. You never win. It's not good advice. So guys, thanks for watching the Tim Crane podcast. Make sure you like us, ring the bell, subscribe, guys, because that's what gets me here in front of the camera to make these videos for you. And I appreciate it too. Make a comment. If you have any questions, I'll do my very best to answer them. But guys, I'll see you next time. See ya!